The soft chime of crystal bells marked the entrance of Clarissa Beaumont, an icon of Manhattan's high society, as she stepped into the exclusive rooftop lounge overlooking the glittering New York skyline. Heads turned, and conversations hushed momentarily as she strolled in, her stiletto heels clicking rhythmically on the marble floor. With her sleek jet-black attire, flawless waves of blonde hair, and air of undeniable authority, Clarissa had long been accustomed to admiration. She relished these moments, where her presence alone could command a room, but tonight her confidence would face an unexpected challenge. Perched atop the city's tallest skyscraper, the restaurant was a haven for the elite, known for its unparalleled views and meticulously crafted ambience. Wealthy patrons murmured over delicately arranged plates, surrounded by minimalist decor and floor-to-ceiling windows that showcased the city's heartbeat below. This was Clarissa's world, where luxury was expected and standards were high. As she took her seat by the window, she inhaled the scent of fresh lilies and polished wood with a smile of satisfaction. Here, everyone knew their place, and they were there to ensure her experience was nothing short of perfect. Meanwhile, Maya Daniels, a young woman from Brooklyn in her late 20s, weaved gracefully between tables, balancing trays and offering warm smiles to the well-dressed patrons. Maya wore the standard black uniform, her curly hair tucked into a neat bun. Years of hard work and perseverance had brought her here, but it was meant to be a stepping stone, a way to support her dreams, not a destination. Life in New York was demanding, and her ambitions often felt overshadowed by survival. As Maya approached Clarissa's table with her usual gentle smile, she offered, "Good evening, ma'am. May I start you off with a drink?" Without looking up, Clarissa waved her hand dismissively, scrutinizing her nails. "Your finest Pinot Noir," she said, her voice dripping with entitlement, "and I want it cold." Maya hesitated but nodded. "Of course, ma'am." As she walked away, Clarissa sighed loudly. Service these days. Why is it so hard to find competent help? Her voice carried, earning the attention of nearby diners and leaving Maya to steady herself, the sting of the words lingering. As Maya approached with a glass of chilled wine, she placed it on the table, maintaining her calm professionalism. Clarissa lifted the glass to her lips, took a sip, and almost immediately wrinkled her nose in visible distaste. She set the glass down with exaggerated precision and sighed dramatically, her voice loud enough to reach surrounding tables. "I asked for it cold, and this is barely chilled. Is it really so hard to follow a simple request?" she scoffed, her tone sharp as glass. Maya, stunned but composed, inhaled quietly to steady herself. "I apologize, ma'am. I'll bring a fresh glass right away." But before she could turn, Clarissa waved her hand dismissively, with a look of detached indifference. "Oh, don't bother. I suppose it's too much to expect competence these days," she continued, her tone condescending. She looked Maya up and down, her lips curving into a smile that felt as sharp as it was cold. "Let me guess, you probably can't even imagine the kind of standards people like me expect." Maya's hands tightened subtly around the tray as she absorbed the words. She wanted to say something, to let Clarissa know that she did understand hard work, that each shift here was another step toward her dreams. But she knew people like Clarissa didn't care about the struggles behind her uniform. They only saw a nameless server, someone beneath them. Yet, just as she was about to excuse herself, a deep voice cut through the tension. "Excuse me, but did I hear you correctly?" The voice was calm, but there was a weight to it that drew everyone's attention. Clarissa froze mid-motion, her hand hovering above her wine glass, and turned slowly to face the man behind her. Sitting at the adjacent table was Gabriel Martinez, one of New York City's most well-known attorneys, a figure respected for his commitment to justice and equality. His reputation as a defender of the underrepresented preceded him, and Clarissa recognized him instantly, a flicker of uncertainty crossing her face. Gabriel's gaze was steady, unwavering, as he continued. "What I heard was condescension," he said, his tone firm but measured. He glanced at Maya, his expression softening. "This young woman," he nodded to Maya, "is working hard to make your experience enjoyable, yet it seems you've decided she's less than you, simply because of her job." The dining room had quieted to a respectful silence, every gaze now fixed on Clarissa, who suddenly seemed stripped of her usual confidence. A faint blush colored her cheeks as Gabriel's words sank in, her own judgment now held up to the light for all to see. Clarissa's confident demeanor faltered as Gabriel's steady gaze held her in place. She shifted uncomfortably, her usual composure slipping. "Mr. Martinez, I didn't mean," she stammered, searching for words that would salvage her dignity. Yet Gabriel's eyes remained unwavering, a silent reminder of the principles he had built his life around. "Respect, Miss Beaumont," he began, his voice calm but unyielding, "is a reflection of one's character." His words were precise, cutting through the atmosphere with an unexpected grace. "People like Maya," he gestured to the young woman standing with her tray beside the table, "are the backbone of places like this. They are the reason these spaces feel special, and their work deserves recognition. That's something worth respecting, don't you think?" Clarissa's cheeks flushed a deeper red as her eyes darted around the room, noticing the diners who had begun to observe the scene with interest. The usual admiration in their eyes had shifted to quiet judgment, and Clarissa felt a rare and unfamiliar emotion creeping into her, a sense of shame. She opened her mouth to respond, but words escaped her. She was used to being the one in control, the one admired and feared. But here was a man who spoke with a kind of authority that needed no performance. Nearby patrons exchanged approving glances, nodding in subtle agreement with Gabriel's words. Maya, standing quietly beside him, felt a warmth bloom in her chest, a sense of pride and validation she hadn't expected. Here was someone she had long admired, not only standing up for her, but acknowledging the worth she carried, a worth that went beyond her uniform. Gabriel's attention turned to Maya, his expression softening. "Maya," he said gently, "if you're available after your shift, I'd love to discuss an opportunity with you." A small, kind smile crept onto his face as he continued. "I run an organization dedicated to helping driven individuals like yourself. We provide scholarships and career placements for those who demonstrate resilience and dedication. I think you'd be a perfect fit." Maya's heart raced, and she found herself fighting back tears. She looked down at her tray, hands clasped tightly as a wave of gratitude washed over her. "Thank you, Mr. Martinez," she managed, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "I'd be honored." Clarissa sat frozen, her mouth opening and closing as she struggled to process the scene unfolding before her. Her own words, meant to belittle, had now turned against her, leaving her feeling unmoored, exposed, and vulnerable in a way she hadn't felt in years. As Maya turned to leave, a surge of confidence filled her, straightening her posture as she moved with a new sense of pride. Her co-workers welcomed her return to the kitchen with quiet nods of respect and warm smiles, each one silently acknowledging the powerful moment they had witnessed. Maya felt the weight of the experience settle in, a blend of relief, pride, and gratitude. In the face of judgment, she had remained poised, and with Gabriel's words, her sense of self-worth had been reaffirmed. That night, her dreams felt closer, her resolve stronger. She no longer saw herself as just a server. Instead, she felt the ambition and drive that had brought her to this city rise within her, bolder than ever. Her journey no longer felt defined by her current circumstances. Rather, it was about where she was headed, each shift another step forward. Outside the dining area, Clarissa gathered her things in silence, her once proud posture now slightly diminished. As she rose to leave, she felt a heaviness unlike anything she had felt before. Gabriel's words echoed in her mind, peeling back layers of entitlement she had hidden behind for years. For so long, she had surrounded herself with wealth, status, and power, equating these with her worth. Yet tonight, standing alone, she felt an emptiness that not even her most lavish possessions could fill. As she walked out, Clarissa cast one last glance back at the restaurant, where she saw Maya through the kitchen's glass doors, smiling with her co-workers, her posture confident and calm. The sight struck her, a reminder of the strength in resilience and kindness, a lesson she had spent so long overlooking. Stepping into the cool night air, Clarissa felt the stirrings of something unfamiliar within her. Humility. She was leaving with more than a lesson in etiquette. She was leaving with a glimpse of the dignity and respect she had lost touch with in her pursuit of status. It was a humbling realization, one that she knew would stay with her. For Maya, the night marked a beginning rather than an end. She looked out over the city's skyline with fresh eyes, feeling a newfound confidence. Gabriel's offer was more than a career opportunity. It was an acknowledgement of her dreams and the hard work that brought her here. For the first time in a long time, she felt the future open before her, filled with possibility and hope. In this city of glitz and ambition, true worth was not found in titles or wealth, but in the strength to lift others up, in the courage to stand with dignity. And as Maya walked out that night, she carried with her the quiet assurance that her path forward was as limitless as her determination. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss any of our latest videos. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Thank you all for taking the time to watch, and see you in the next video.